Hey, friends. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live on a tiny planet? Or to meet a talking fox who teaches you about love and friendship? Well, today I'm going to tell you the amazing story of The Little Prince, a book by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry that's full of adventure, heart, and lessons that are perfect for all ages. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a journey across the stars. The beginning. The story starts with a pilot who is flying a plane over the Sahara Desert. His plane crashes, and he's stuck in the desert, all alone. But then, something magical happens. He meets a little boy, a strange boy with golden hair and a big curiosity about everything. The boy asks the pilot to draw a sheep for him. The pilot is a little confused, but he draws a sheep anyway. But the boy doesn't like any of the drawings, except one. The pilot draws a box, and the boy says, "The sheep is inside this box." And just like that, the little prince has a sheep. This is where the adventure begins. The boy then starts telling the pilot about his life, and that's where the real story starts. The Little Prince's journey. The little prince comes from a tiny planet that's so small he can watch sunsets just by moving his chair a little. He takes care of a beautiful rose that he loves very much, but one day he decides to leave his planet and explore other worlds. So he sets off, flying from one planet to another, and on each planet he meets different grown-ups who teach him something important. The king. On the first planet, the little prince meets a king who is very proud and rules over everything, even though there's no one around to rule. The king just gives orders for things that are already happening, like the sunset. The little prince learns that grown-ups can sometimes act like they are in control, but they're not always making sense. The vain man. On the next planet, the little prince meets a vain man who loves to be admired. He spends all his time asking for compliments from people around him. But there's no one on the planet except him. The man only cares about being noticed and praised. The little prince learns that if you only care about what others think of you, you might end up feeling very lonely. The drunkard. The third planet has a drunkard who drinks to forget that he's ashamed of drinking. It's a sad cycle, and the little prince is confused. He realizes that sometimes adults do things that don't make sense just to escape their problems, and it makes them unhappy. The lamplighter. On the fourth planet, he meets a lamplighter who has a very strange job. He lights and puts out his lamp every minute because his planet spins so fast. The lamplighter is so busy, he never has time for anything else. The little prince sees that sometimes grown-ups get so caught up in their work that they forget to enjoy the important things in life. The businessman. Next, on the fifth planet, the little prince meets a businessman who is obsessed with counting stars. He says he owns them because he counts them every day. The little prince wonders why the businessman cares so much about counting things that don't really matter. He learns that grown-ups can sometimes get too focused on things like money or numbers, forgetting the beauty around them. The geographer. On the sixth planet, he meets a geographer who knows everything about the world, but has never actually seen any of it. He just writes about things from books. The little prince realizes that it's not enough to just know facts. You have to go out and experience the world for yourself to truly understand it. The fox and the most important lesson. Now here's where the story gets really special. On his last stop, the little prince meets a fox who teaches him something very important. The fox says, "One sees clearly only with the heart. What is essential is invisible to the eye." The fox explains that you only truly understand something when you love it. And that's when the little prince learns that his rose, the one he left behind on his tiny planet, is very special. Even though there are thousands of roses in the world, his rose is unique because he loves her. And that's the most important lesson of all. The ending. After learning all these lessons from the grown-ups he met, the little prince decides it's time to go back to his planet to take care of his rose. But before he leaves, he tells the pilot that even though you can't always see love or friendship, they're real. They're the things that matter most in life. And the pilot, who's fixed his plane, realizes that the little prince will always be with him in his heart. The little prince leaves the desert, and the pilot finally gets his plane back in the air. But the pilot will never forget the little prince, and every time he sees a sunset or thinks about his rose, he remembers the lessons that Boy taught him. Closing. So, what's the big message of The Little Prince? It's that the things we can't see with our eyes, love, kindness, and the things that matter most in life, are often the most important. Grown-ups sometimes get too focused on things like work, numbers, or being admired, but a child knows the real truth. And that truth is simple. Love and friendship are what make the world a beautiful place. Thanks for listening to the story of The Little Prince. I hope it made you think about what's truly important in your life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more stories like this. And tell me, what do you think is the most important lesson The Little Prince taught us? See you next time, friends.